When you look at talent, because you started, what, nine people? How many?
9 people, and when Commerce was sold, we had 9 people in one branch. When we sold, we had 500 stores and about 14,000 people. And I get asked all the time, particularly as we expanded north into Manhattan and New York, how do you recruit good people in New York? Well, I'll tell you two stories. My job has always been to find good bankers trapped in broken bank models. And I hired lots of people from the big banks in New York where the banks were terrible, but we found good people trapped in the model that wanted to deliver our service and convenience experience. Now in Britain, it's a whole different deal. We have 2,200 people working. They come from every part of the world. I was giving a speech at a group like this one night, and a Brit stood up in the office. This is a typical British question. You know we Brits aren't very good at delivering service. They got to give you the disclaimer right off the bat. You know we're not very good at delivering service. How are you going to train us to deliver service? And the guy said it to me kind of a strange way, and I said to him in front of the audience, are you telling me the Brits are too stupid to train to deliver service? And the guy says to me, yeah, that's absolutely what I'm saying to you. Well, of course, there's zero truth to it. If your model is about delivering unusual service and convenience, you build it for that, you recruit for that, you manage for that, you promote for that. If your model is, as they are in the British banks, to sell you a new product next week, that's what you build your business around.
Right.
And it goes around to the model, and it applies to all of you guys in business. What's your model? What's your value added? Culture, does your culture match the model? We see lots of businesses where the model's going right and the culture's going left. They're opposing each other. You gotta get them in sync. And then you have to fanatically execute this model. The number that used to keep me awake at night at Commerce, we were getting in-store customer visits of 21 million people a month. Now think about that number. 21 million people a month walk through our doors.
Through 500 locations.
Roughly 500 locations. So not only how we're going to make those 21 million people happy and more of a fan, that's the first objective. But the second objective has to be when something goes wrong, and Lord knows stuff does go wrong, how are we going to respond, and how are we going to make that client more of a fan after we responded to the problem? I would say over all the years, the most rabid fans I had were ones where something went wrong and the way we responded and solved it. And I talk about this in bank talk, and I talk about it in London a lot. Every dispute with your bank is generally about 112 bucks. We say 112 pounds in a dollar in London. In other words, it's like an insignificant amount of money. So let's argue with our customer for 3 weeks about $112, or let's just give him the $112 and build a fan relationship. That's a fundamentally different view of life.